Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at SPY on the last day of 2022. It is December 30th, and it's pretty crazy that this is the last trading day of the year. Overall, pretty crazy year. Overall the markets have been down, lots of negative, but for me, this has been really that breakthrough year where I'd say that I accomplished the most with trading, starting off with really perfecting my system and really becoming the trader that I am today. Really putting in the hours during the summer and all of that. This was this year, and this year really is going to stay in history in my heart because of everything that I was able to accomplish in this one year where I decided to really make it happen. And my goal is for the people that are starting to join the community right now, for next year towards the end, for them to be able to finally, really tone in and become exceptional traders. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at the 3 trades that I took today. It was a choppy day overall. I had one 20% winner, all right, and another 2 trades that went about 5 to 10% losers. All right, overall ended the day in a small profit, but basically a break-even day. I'm not even going to call it a profit day simply because the people that were entering the same trades as me when I was live trading, most people had a hard time staying in good profit, but still had a small green day. Despite that, I think that we managed the day pretty well. A lot of traders today found it very difficult to trade. I think that we took good entries overall, and we were able to stay patient and still take a couple good entries. What I'm learning from a day like today is if, you're going into the last day of the year, there's low volume. All right, to end the day, we actually had pretty good volume towards the end of the day to pick up, but at the beginning of the day, we had some pretty slow volume and overall very choppy price action. Just the fact that we were scattering all over the place. What I'm learning is that if I do get a good entry in the beginning of the day, get a good profit in, maybe want to just go stop trading at that point and call it a day. My first trade today was green, and after that, I decided to keep on trading, and that's why I ended up basically break even. But yeah, let's start up with my pre-market levels. All right, so we had a double top of a resistance right here. All right, I had a level. Actually, I had a level right up here. All right, and then I had another level. I forgot to put it right here. All right, so we clearly had some resistance right here, and on top of that, we had this body resistance, which I decided to mark up. I had this level right here of that resistance. There was a lot of chop, but I decided to put some levels at areas where I thought most likely we're going to find some resistance. We barely really went up into this area, so it never really needed to be used. I mean, these levels weren't really ever applicable to the day, but still, of course, I didn't know that at pre-market, so I still had those levels charted out. We had this level of support right here that I had charted. Support right here turns into resistance right here. We have some support resistance, that support, all right, and yeah. So this was a pretty good level of resistance right here, and I moved this line around a little bit, all right, and this is already a red line that I had during the day. This was another support level, and yeah, that kind of covers it for a pre-market. All right, we had a big gap down. All right, I mean, not a big gap down, but we had a slight gap down from the 380s to the 380 and then the upper 370s today. But overall, we had I'd call it a day with no real substantial movement. All right, we kind of had chop around in the beginning with a couple moves up and down, but overall very choppy price action, especially right here. All right, I'm going to go through a couple of entries, things that I want to point out, so that people playing my strategy can see what I'm seeing. But if you guys are interested in 2023 to find a new way to trade, you haven't already checked out the Discord community in the description below. We trade SPY every single day, and we focus on short-term SPY options. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to join up. But yeah, let's start off with the day. So Market opens up, all right, we find a double top right here, and I create a level of resistance right here with my red line, all right? Now, at this point, what am I looking for? I'm assuming that if we do break this double top, all right, I'd be looking to see a retracement back to that level for an entry for calls, all right? I was looking at taking calls at around this area of resistance, all right? Now, I'll explain why it was this area, not right here and not right here. If you look right here, we had a right before the market opened, a good level of resistance. It acted as some resistance right over here and right over here, all right? And we had a clear level of support. So I was expecting that this was a valid level for me that I was going to use. This level, we only had one double top right here. We only had one double top. This level, we had some more, validation. This level on top, we only had some resistance right here, and we never had that support, which I thought was very crucial. This was a very clear support for me. It was very vivid. I thought that was going to be the level, all right? But either way, this entry would have failed, and I'll explain why I did not enter this trade. I was live trading. I was looking at this. The reason I didn't enter comes down to the speed of the candle combined with volume, all right? Now, if you notice, all right, we had in the beginning of the day, the first candle that initially pushed us through that level, all right? So I'm going to just delete this level at this point. But the candle that initially pushed us through that resistance level was this this green candle with a ton of volume at open, right? Instead of pushing and continuing, this candle got sucked back down with a tweezer top. That indicated to me that this move up was a little bit concerning and may be a fake move up. Next up, we are moving up. We have big wicks on the top. I'm paying attention to this. This doesn't look very bullish, all right? I'm paying attention to that. Next up, when I was looking to take this entry, usually what I do is I don't wait for confirmation. I enter the moment my candle touches the line. However, if I notice that the candle is absolutely flushing through my level, whether it was here or even here, this candle went down like a meteorite. It went down fast. And that's not something I want to get caught up in. If I would have seen we came down, we started wicking off that area, I would have looked to enter some calls for the move up. Never happened, didn't take an entry. Right here, we form a head and shoulders. All right. Look, I don't play patterns solely just because they're a pattern. All right. But I see the pattern, and that helps me gauge what might happen next, and I might take an entry based off that. So if I do see that we have this pattern, I'm in a slight put mode. I'm like, okay, let's see if we can get a good retest for puts right here off a previous support level, continue down. So we had a clear level of support right here, all right? So I was looking to see, can we break that level? Can we come up? Can we retest it for an entry to the downside? All right? Now, if you do notice, we have two wicks right here in this same area, all right? So when I have wicks like that, I consider this whole area sort of a support zone, all right? The whole area is kind of a support zone since we have such a big wick. So the chances that we go through the whole support zone and retest off only that level right here is very low. It might just bounce off somewhere around here. So I take there are only two possible entries in this scenario. I either take puts off the wicks, or I take them off this. I don't take them in the middle, because if I take them in the middle, it's much harder for me to find a good stop. Now, I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it when it comes to the wicks. If it doesn't work out, it's going to push up, and I'm going to get out of my position. We clearly have this support level. We break below. All right, now I notice that the candle that pushed us down has 207K volume, all right? In the top left-hand corner, it says that, all right? Some pretty good volume, all right? This next candle, even more volume, and, I think this is a pretty good move. However, we come back up here, and I do take this entry. This was a lotto entry, a more lotto entry than, I would have liked. And today, most of the entries were lotto. It was a very choppy day. I was much less sized. even on this trade, even though this was the trade I was most sized throughout the day. I still took it with less size than my normal positions. Now, what I noticed, we come up, we retrace that support level. This volume right here is 243K. This volume is more than the volume of the candle that pushed us down. That means that there is probably more buyers in this area, and the move down may be short term. I did not, I saw this, but I decided to still take the risk and take a smaller position and take my entry. I took some puts right here with a target of this level. However, I saw that we were, finding it hard to move down. This doji right here, I started to scale some profits on this move down. Turned out to be an about 20% trade for me. All right. Because of the, because of this massive candle, even halfway down was already a pretty big move. It was the beginning of the day. Put contracts were spiked. They were moving well. It turned out to be my favorite. Right. So nice trade for me there. All right. Later on, I was holding some runners and I got stopped out, I think, on this candle. All right. Now, this is the next thing I want to point out. So at this point, this is the only trade that I do actually take. This trade, however, right here, it was the bounce off this support level. Previously, we rejected off this wicks. Here, we are rejecting off of these bodies. So that's something I'm keeping in mind. And, these two entries were pretty solid. The reason this entry is more of a lotto is because when I see that we are already creating an uptrend, a lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low, I'm already more looking at calls. All right. And when that's happening, I'm no longer looking at puts as much, which just automatically creates this as a lotto put entry. But both were nice entries of the retest of that previous support as resistance. All right, moving along, we have this trend line that I see, and we have that resistance. I'm looking to see, can we maybe see a retest of that previous resistance as support? So when it comes down, I take my entry. I rush this trade, and now that I notice, we had much more volume on this candle right here that pushed us down, then that brought us up. All right. I should have looked at volume more carefully, and volume is something that I try to teach people, and it's something that I personally sometimes still, have trouble with. It's one of the things with my strategy, is probably the only thing in my strategy that I'm currently trying to improve. I've basically got everything else down. This is something that I'm trying to add to provide better conviction for myself, and I'm still improving on the way that I'm utilizing volume. Right here, we have more volume on the candle that pushes us back down than the candle that brought us through that resistance level. However, if I did adjust this trend line, I could have actually stayed in this trade. I did get stopped out after this entry right here. I got stopped out at a close below that level. Followed my plan. That's good. I followed the process. However, now that I think about it, I could have adjusted the trend line. But do I regret exiting out? No. There was more volume. The candle closed below. It was a wise decision. On a different day, on a good trend day, hopefully in 2023 we get some good price action. Trust me, this scenario would have just ripped down. I think that the fact that we got bought back up right here is a lucky, just the fact that we had bad PA all day. All right. This right here is a trade that I missed. Pretty nice entry. All right, we have a support level. We break down, we retest with less volume right here. Nice put entry to the downside. All right. Now, this right here, basically a similar entry. I, for some reason, didn't get into this one, probably because I just entered this trade and I wasn't looking to get into something right away. But this trade right here was a very similar to trade to this. We have a support, we're retesting as resistance. We have a resistance, retesting as support. I took calls right here, and I unfortunately got stopped out right on this candle. So at this point in the day, I've taken this trade for a nice profit. I've taken this trade for a small loss, and this trade for another very small loss. My stop loss is very tight. I get in, if it goes not in my direction, I get out. It's as simple as that. You have to ingrain that in yourself. The difference between a profitable trader, and not a profitable trader is not just the strategy. It's being able to click that sell button. And people glaze over that. They think that their strategy is wrong. They look for that magical strategy. But there are traders who make money with all kinds of strategies simply because they have correct risk management. When I take a winning trade, I'm able to scale out for a good win. When I take a losing trade, I'm able to get out once the candle closes right below my level. All right? I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I had some trouble closing out of a losing trade. All right? I should have stopped out at one point. I did not. That happens to me extremely rarely. Probably once, maybe twice, every couple months, it does happen to me. I'm in a trade. I'm like, I can't believe it. And I get out for, a more substantial loss. Sometimes around 10%, 10-15%. Usually my losses overall in trades are almost always under 10%. All right. So yeah, that's, that I thought this was a good trade. I would have taken it any day. But it just didn't work out. All right. Now we're coming down, nothing really good here, a bunch of chop. This right here just signals to me I'm not looking to take anything. And at this point, what I was really looking for is I was like, if we break above here, I might be looking for an entry. If we break below this support, I'm going to be looking for a different entry. But the reality was we were in the last day of the year, we were expecting chop. All right. And I was like, maybe I'm going to call it a day here. All right. So this is another entry that I see that was pretty nice. All right, I personally did not take this entry, but it was there, and we had some people take it. All right, so we have a clear level of resistance. We break through, all right, with some pretty good volume. All right, we come down on the candle that comes back to the level, has less volume than the candle that pushes us through. What that logically means is that in this exact area at 380.58, we had more buyers push us up then sellers push us back down. Now, was this move, would this trade be good? Would this be a profitable trade? This would be a slightly profitable trade if I was trading it. I would have took calls right here. I would have scaled some right here because we are at support level right here. All right. If you can't see that right here, that candle had some support. I always scale at the support of the candle that on the double top, and I scale at the resistance. So those two areas I would scale. And you're like, this is such a quick, small amount of space. But that's how you have to think about it. Every cent matters. So I take some profits. I would have taken some profits, and then we come down. I would have gone out on this candle. Chop around. This is absolutely crazy. I'm not trading this. You have to acknowledge when not to trade. There's nothing happening here. You don't trade it. It's chopping all around. Just got to accept that. But yeah, we have this nice move down. All right, I don't get any entry. There was no reason to get an entry here. People who try to catch these massive moves usually end up back holding in the wrong direction most of the time. Some people caught this move down by just anticipating this break. They were like, yeah, this looks like puts. But trust me, so many times will you get absolutely obliterated by trying to catch this massive move in the wrong direction. Right? This is something I wanted to talk about. So we break below this support level, right? We break down with some very good volume, right? On the candle that pushes us through that support, right? Even this support right here. Let's talk about this one right here. That's the one I would probably be playing. This candle right here, massive volume, all right? Now, if you look at the candle that pushes us back to that level, it's this candle right here. Now look, this candle ends right here with volume. This candle is with this much volume. So what does that mean? In this area, are we likely to reject and come down? No. We are likely to continue up, at least on the short term. I don't care what happens in an hour. I care what happens in the next second. All right? I'm a short-term SPY trader. My trades are between a couple minutes to maximum like half an hour. Usually I'm out with most of my position within, 10 minutes. All right? I don't wait and pray for my trade to go against me or see what happens. All right. So again, this is why this trade right here for puts would not be good. Look at the volume. All right. This is a trade that I wanted to look at. Pretty nice entry. All right. We have a level of support. All right. Clear level of support. All right. Support. It was some support right here. Very good level. We break below. with some good volume on the candle that pushed us down, less volume on the candle that brought us back up for a put entry to the downside. All right, pretty nice right there. We were also forming this channel. You could have been playing some puts on the top right here and, taking them down here. However, this is a pretty simple way that I find you can find when a trend reverses. I did want to talk about that. Okay, so if you do notice right here, all right, we have a trend. All right, so we're making sorry, one sec. Yeah, so we have a move right here. We go lower, we move up, we go lower, right? Sorry, we go lower. Now this did not come up back to this trend line. It stopped right in the middle. All of this was going back and forth. This stopped right in the middle. So this means that maybe we are now going from going like this to going like that and then reversing. All right. So keep in mind that when you're looking at trend lines. All right. Right here even, all right, we come up, all right, we come down, we don't make it all the way back up, we trade, and that's why right here we actually, kind of created more of a cup direction instead of kind of having a more vertical direction. That's what you can look for. All right, so break out of this trend line, and I did want to talk about this entry right here. All right, a lot of people mistake this right here for a put entry. We have a support, we break above. All right, now, first of all, all right, let's see what the volume was. I forgot to check this. All right, yeah, so the volume was good. However, what was not good in this entry and why we moved up more up here, why we probably would have got stopped out in this trade, is again the fact that we are already in an uptrend right here. We have this high right here, and this is going to be the next high. We are already in an uptrend right here. All right. So that's what you have to look for when you're looking at put entries. This is the same thing as right here in the morning that happened. We're already in an uptrend. So this right here would be a lotto entry, just like this right here. This is also a lotto entry. So I'll just move this to yellow. I don't know why I didn't blue. But yeah, this would be considered a lotto entry for me. All right. We come down. This right here would be considered a pretty okay two-way street setup. We break this trend line up. We retest it for the move up. All right. However, this was a ranging day. I probably wouldn't be taking any of this at the end of the day. All right. This right here, pretty nice other setup. All right. So we break up with some pretty nice volume right here. All right. Of 133K. Come back down, retest with 111K or 118K, whether you would enter on any of these entries. This was a little bit of a messy retracement. I probably wouldn't get into this, but it's there for more of a lotto position. Again, today almost everything was lotto except a couple of trades. We had a clear level of resistance right here that we're retesting, but the retracement is a bit, a bit not great. We continue up, all right, and we absolutely rip into close into 2023. All right. So yeah, that kind of wraps up the video for me today. I really wanted to emphasize this in the morning today with these, the wicks and the bodies. That was the main point of the whole video. But yeah, basically for me, a break-even day, not a great choppy day overall, but still, we take it. We are not getting massive losing days. All right. We don't risk massive amounts of money to make massive amounts of gains. We take small gains with a structured system, with good risk management, to actually make this trading thing possible and sustainable. That's the real goal here. But yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in. If you did enjoy this, found value in this, make sure to click that subscribe button and that like button as well. It really helps out support the community. And don't forget to join the Discord if you haven't already to actually see all this live, our trading, and, level up your SPY trading in 2023 if you're looking to do that. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and I will catch you guys all in 2023. Peace out, and Happy New Year's, guys.